Welcome to the Lucidus podcast, where I explore everything because I believe everything is connected to everything else, and because I believe in the infinite, unbounded potential within each of us. I'm here today in this little area that's nearby my home where I live. Been wanting to come out here for a long time and do this, and today I finally got the gumption to actually do it. Which leads me to today's topic, and that is neuroplasticity, neurogenesis. That word always tricks me up. Which I've studied for many, many years, and continues to just. I think it's the most wonderful thing. I'm so glad it exists. Which is basically, building a strong muscle in the brain, building a strong muscle in the brain, right? So when we build strong muscles in the brain, we can't see them, and so we don't always know, but it becomes apparent when we start to see changes in our daily choices, patterns, habits, speech, thoughts, words, and deeds. So I was recently listening to a podcast. I need to be better about writing people's names down. Ah, shoot. I remember the podcast was The Diary of a CEO. Cannot remember the name of the guest. Shoot. He was talking about neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, and just how important it is. The same way you go every day, or maybe you don't, but the same way you build any kind of muscle, whatever that muscle is for you, that the repetition is so important. So, and I'm starting to see little bits of changes in a specific area of my life, and that is starting hard things. So for me, once I get started, I tend to be able to keep it up. It's like I got the momentum, I keep going, I do the hard thing. Starting it, I used to be a lot better when I was younger. I can't tell. I don't think it's age. I think experience. I think failure has sort of dampened my ability to start hard things. So I've been playing the guitar. I got the guitar when I turned 50. I bought myself a classical guitar and played like religiously for about 2 years. And then the last 8 months, I didn't pick it up once. And I just kept looking at it. And I don't know what the block was. Who knows? But just kept thinking, I got to pick that up one day. I know I love it. I got to pick that up. I got to pick that up. So one day I told myself, okay, how can I get back to what it feels very hard? Who knows why? But at this point, it feels very hard to pick up my classical guitar. So I asked myself, what can I do? Like, play around with this. What can I do? And I said, okay, I want to set a goal. I'm going to set a goal. 5 times a week, I'm going to pick up the guitar and I'm going to hold it for 15 minutes. That was it. I'm just literally going to pick 5 times a week. And I made myself 5 little slips of paper that said guitar. And I laid them on the counter. So I was like, okay, I have my 5 guitar reminders this week. I'm going to pick up the guitar for 15 minutes. That was it. Just the act. And I have to tell you what, the first few days, literally, you would have thought I was being tortured. I mean, it was just inside. There was some excruciating something happening. But I would go over, take it out of its case. And then, of course, I'm just sitting there holding it. I'm like, well, I might as well tune it, right? So, okay, I tune the guitar. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll get out my book. And okay, I get out my book. And I'm like, well, I guess this page is open. So I guess I'll play this piece. Um, and then pretty soon, every time, every day, it said the same thing. Suddenly, my timer goes off. And I go, oh, I wasn't really done. Like, but I stopped. I did stop. I was just like, okay, well, I don't really have to be done, but I am. Put it away. Next day comes, and I'm like, okay, I got to do my guitar. Get that guitar out, get that case out. Sit there. I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to hold it. Okay. Minutes go by. Doing something on my phone. I'm like, okay, I might as well tune it. I mean, it's just kind of awkward holding it. And, you know, and some days I would like barely do anything. And other days I'd get a lot done in that 15 minutes. Wasn't the point. And what I began to see is what I'm experiencing. So it's been a couple of weeks now. What I'm experiencing is an ability to do things that feel hard. And in 2 weeks, meaning I actually got out here in this beautiful little area to record this podcast. I didn't care what podcast I recorded out here. I just was like, I would love to go stand outside and record a podcast because it's beautiful. And it's a beautiful place for me to be. So 2 weeks of doing literally just picking up a guitar, which 2 weeks of doing something hard, which wasn't even the act. It was starting. And I knew that. I was like, I'm not actually having a hard time playing the guitar. I'm having a hard time starting. I'm having a hard time starting. I'm having a hard time starting new, not even new things. No, it's starting hard things. So it's the beginning, it's that initial impulse to try something hard that's become kind of a block for me. And I want to, as I get older, I don't want to stop. I want to continue beginning hard things. And as I see, I'm in my 50s now, and as I see people in their 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, and my friend Alma, who's 104, as I see them, I'm like, life gets harder just in general, in that the body changes and the mind changes and, situations change, and you suddenly are faced with hard stuff that you didn't ever think you would be dealing with, whether it's illness or disease or loss or, death of people that deeply impact your life. So I'm just realizing the ability to begin hard things is paramount, I think, to any, not just to longevity, but to meaningful longevity, that you can continue to do begin the hard task that needs to be done, begin the hard task that leads to, and not just a more meaningful, but sometimes it just has to be done. Like there are hard tasks out there that we just have to do. Each of us will be called to do. And some of them are really joyful and fun and wonderful, like this, just getting out here or playing my guitar. It's not that hard. Others can be really hard. So part of the reason I initially began this was because I was studying neuroplasticity. This was 3 years ago. Maybe it's 4 years now. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how many years it's been since I began this. I think it was 22. Yeah, 3 years. Anyway, so when Lucidess was birthed a few years ago, it was because the neuroplasticity, I just thought, I so deeply I wanted people to understand that they could change their lives, their bodies, their whole reality by changing their mind. And that changing your mind is totally is real. It's real. Like your brain is as malleable. I wonder sometimes if it's not more malleable than the body, or than muscles or something like that. So neuroplasticity was the initial thing where I was like, I don't think people really understand if they begin to work with their mind in just little ways, right? You don't have to do a major overhaul. You may want to do a major overhaul. And I tell you what, from who I was many years ago, I absolutely wanted to do a major overhaul. But it began in very small ways, slowly changing, stopping an unhealthy pattern and just saying, I'm not going to think that anymore. Or sometimes I couldn't stop it. And so I'd say, I'm not going to believe that anymore. I actually don't believe it. And I'm not going to, I tell my mind, you can say that as much as you want. I don't believe it anymore. And it slowly lost its, the power behind it. It was over. So I'm back again where I began, neuroplasticity. Like each of us has this incredible power. And I'm not speaking as like Pollyanna. I have been in the depths. I know what it's like. I've been in those places where you literally can't change a thought. And what I want to tell you, if you're there, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. The thoughts that they're not true. They're not true. Just keep breathing. Stay with us. Um, find some support if there isn't any out there, because sometimes there just isn't. You keep breathing. You keep breathing. This too shall pass. And there will be a moment. when you take a breath and you realize, I can see the lies. I can see the lies and I can see the truth that I actually want to believe, do believe, or wish to believe. And I'm going to start saying those words. Maybe you say them silently in your head. Maybe you say them out loud. Maybe you put them, maybe you write them down like I do. I think in the past I've shown you, the things I write and put them up on my wall to remind myself of what I'm doing, what I care about, and what gives me meaning in my life. So, Lucidus began because I believe in the infinite potential within each of us. And that begins with our mind. And I hope again that nothing else, you enjoyed this. And if more than that, you can think of one hard thing in your life that you want to change and find a way to sort of, I say, dumb it down. Like I want to get back to playing my guitar for a great length of time, but I'm not there. I couldn't do that. So dumb it down. 15 minutes, 5 times a week, 15 minutes, pick it up. That was it, right? Like I dumbed it down to, I didn't even have to play the guitar. I just needed to pick it up. And there may be a day, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm open to the day where I pick up my guitar and I hold it for 15 minutes and I don't ever play it. And that is success because the goal, I dumbed it down to the first step, which is one step. I'm just taking one step. I'm literally picking up the guitar. So that's my challenge for you today. Think of something in your life that's really hard. And you don't even have to start with that, right? You don't even have to start with that. Anything that's kind of giving you resistance, dumb it down to the smallest step and just practice taking that one step. One step. I've done it for 2 weeks and already seen changes. So that's my challenge. 2 weeks. You do that one dumbed down act, whatever that is for you. Make yourself a note, whatever you need to do to remind yourself. And then in 2 weeks, leave me a note, leave me a little message. Let me know. Let me know if you've seen changes, what those were. And I'd also love to hear uh, what your hard dumbed down act was. And again, that's the other reason I want to share this is I think we think it has to be big, right? But I also think everyone out there understands when I say it was so hard to walk over and pick up the guitar. Even tomorrow, I think tomorrow when I walk over to pick up the guitar, I'll be like, oh, yeah, this again, right? I think it's okay that seemingly easy things are hard. I believe not only is it okay, it's the truth. So I believe in all of us. I believe in the infinite, unbounded potential within each of us. And I believe that one of the most powerful places to start is in the mind and to begin to ask the mind to retrain its behavior and its reaction to doing hard things. So, all my love to you all. Have a beautiful day. And I'm actually going to give you a moment with the birds and the wind and the tree. Okay, if you stayed on listening to the birds and the trees, I have one more message. I finished walking the little loop and I'm now down by the pond. It's so quiet. And if you're still here, I want you to know I love you and I care and you're not alone. Take care of yourself.